Today, we're tasting some wines from one of my favorite white wine regions of the world, Austria. Now, we're going to be going into four of the top producers and really getting into what makes the difference in the Austrian wines. We have two Rieslings, two Bruners. And what I really want to do is show you the effect of how the river works and the resulting styles of the wine. Are you ready? Let's get into it. The first wine we have is the FX Pichler Ried Bergstall Riesling. Now, FX Pichler is one of the premier producers and a producer that I have nothing but love for. They've really sort of like made my opinion and feelings on Austrian wine, where I had previously just thought, oh, these are just sweet wines, a little too cloying, and then I tasted them. And I was like, oh, we got something different. The Ried Bergstall. This is coming in the Wachau Valley, and this is going to be really close to the Danube River. And the river has a huge effect on these wines. This is wines closer to the river will get botrytis, and so they'll show off a richer profile. Whereas the wines a little more inland will go more citrus, minerally. I cannot wait to get into this. Let's give it a try. Yeah, this is just beautiful. A lot of peach blossoms, apple blossoms, green apples, some nectarines, a little bit of that oil, lemon essence, real nice slate and mineral character. Just like a little bit of Asian pears. This is really lovely. I cannot wait to give this a try. That's lovely. It's really deft on the palate. This acidity, it's making my mouth water, but it's like it's like on a slow burn. Uh so smooth, so silky. This is starting off so great, everyone. If your conception of Riesling before this has been German wines and you're too afraid to get into them because of sweetness, seriously, look to Austria. This is not going to be that really rich sweetness that some of the wines can get. Personally, I love it all, but I like my dry wines, and this is banging. What a great start. For our second wine, now we're going to go a little more inland. We're going to go with one of the best producers out there, Weingut Brundelmeyer. Now, this is the Ried Steinmessel. These are really elegant, fresh wines that just make my mouth crave the acidity and the flavors that they bring. Let's get into it. Yeah, this is rocking. It gets right into the stone fruit, and there's this wonderful flinty flavor that is really taking me to like Chablis and some of these great regions that I love that bring me that tension that I generally really want out of my white wines. Pear, saline, a little touch of nectarine fruit. It's been a kumquat, and like a bit of like a lime, but like a darker lime, if that makes sense. And a nice like a acacia flower. This is where I really greatly advise anyone when you're getting into wines like these, do something like this side by side because the palate feels are so vastly different. The Pico does carry some extra weight, right? The Brundlemeyer, it just seems to satin caress the top of the palate. It just glides right into the back of my throat. The length is beautiful, and you get this really lovely finish with a city that cuts like a hot knife through butter. These can age. This is also really delicious right now. I love it. Love the way this is starting. So now that we've just done the Rieslings, now we're going to get on to Austria's great native white grape, which is Gruner Veltliner. Gruner Veltliner isn't always for every last person. It's kind of a study in contrast, right? You get these peppery, these capsaicin flavors, um, but yet you get weight, you get power, elegance, and citrus. Personally, I love Gruner Veltliner, and I cannot wait to show these two off for you. And we have one of the top ones, the Schloss Gerbelsberg, from the Reed Renner Vineyard. Now, this is one of the great vineyards in Austria. These produce profound, profound wines. This is the most expensive wine here. But hey, I wanted to put out something of class and really show off how great of a grape Gruner Veltliner is. The color is darker on this. This is more, it's into the gold category. And the thing is, Gruner is a thicker skinned grape. Now all of these have seen generally stainless steel large oak aging. So what color generally shows you is it'll show you the thickness of the skins, also show you how the wine's been made, right? So something stainless steel, something from a colder area, it's going to have a lighter color. This does have a slightly darker color, but no one's confusing this with white burgundy. Yeah, that's Gruner, baby. That is Gruner. I now need to use my words because how do I explain something to you or that you might not have experienced yet? So, as I noticed before, that capsaicin and pepper, this has that real nice dose of white pepper. It also gives off a bit of those snow peas that I personally really find attractive. People don't always get into slightly underripe characteristics of Gruner. Personally, I love it. I think it brings a lot of tension and elegance. There's these really lovely red apple flavors, a bit of kumquat. This sort of, again, that Asian pear I got on the Peakler, it's kind of showing through here. Sort of a bit of like a baker's vanilla too. Really, really complex. Lot going on here. I cannot wait to taste this. So there's a reason why this is the most expensive wine because it's just that flipping good. Um, the palate is fat, but in all the good ways, and it just glides. And I feel it on the side of my tongue, in the back of my throat. It's a really, 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 really long finish. Medium to full bite, great acidity that just makes your mouth water and crave food. This is a banger. Watching this video in Gruner is something that you want to explore. By all means, start off with some of the more affordable ones. You can find some really delicious stuff for about 25, 30 bucks. But if you want to see what it's really about, Gruner to me is one of the great white grapes in the world, and it really carries stature. This is showing it. This is just beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm a big, big, big fan. Yeah, that's beautiful. I had to end things with Franz Herzberger. Now, Herzberger is in the most west area of the Danube, and they're in a small town called Schwitz, and they see the biggest influence of the river. So they always have botrytis, and you can't avoid botrytis in this area of the Vacal Valley. And Herzberg doesn't try. Instead, they just own it and they roll with it, and they make some amazing wine. So this is from Herzberger's famous vineyard Roach Tour, and it is a bitch to climb. And my legs are feeling it after I climbed up it. But it's got this beautiful cross at the top to let you know that you are at the top, and you just get this amazing view from the valley. And it's one that I really recommend people giving a try. Like seriously, go out there. It's beautiful. So it's the 2018 Roach Tour Gruner Veltliner. Yeah, so this is just a very different Gruner. Like the pepper really comes through. There's less of the snow pea, but there's really more of that richness, like the apricot nectar touch of spice. You get this like sort of Asian spice going. Bit of boss pear. This is delicious. The influence of the river shows through so huge. This is a thicker wine. This is a textural wine on the palate, richer. The acid does cut, um, but really this is about that feel. The nose was a little muted. Palate was really sexy, however, fat, unctuous, but still gliding so well across. Seriously, Herzberger is just one of those on point producers, one of those producers that really, to me, speaks of what Austria is all about. One of the top producers in Austria. They're amazing, and this was a beautiful bottle. Search it out. Search all these out. I really recommend everyone give Austrian wine a go. I think these are rewarding. They're so food friendly. At the end of the day, they're just delicious. Be sure to hit that like button. Absolutely be sure to hit the subscribe button. I can't wait to see you guys on the next one. Cheers.